Well, here we have the 2016 Kia Sorento, and what amazes me about Kia is the fact that they update their vehicles so quickly. Just a couple of years ago, they had the last Sorento introduced on a new platform. Now, this is an interesting vehicle because it's competing in two different categories. The Sorento on price starts at just around $27,000, and that's right in the heart of the small SUV space. We're talking about vehicles like the CR-V, the RAV4, and the Escape. So on price, it competes with those vehicles, but on size, it competes with much bigger vehicles. Now, the Sorento is different from the Hyundai Santa Fe. They share the same platform, but they have the Santa Fe Sport, that's the 5-seater, and they have the Santa Fe XL, which is the 7-passenger model. This Sorento is actually right in between them. So it's trying to straddle two different markets and also two different sizes. It's available as a 5-passenger, it's available as a 7-passenger, and now for 2016, it's available with a 2-liter direct injection gasoline engine. So the engines are base 2.4-liter 4-cylinder, that's carried over. New 2-liter turbo, the same one that's available in the Santa Fe, and the beautiful 3.3-liter V6 engine. I'm here in Mont-Tremblant, Quebec to check out the new Kia Sorento. Now, you gotta hand it to Kia. When they update a vehicle, they go to town. This is all new on the inside. Beautiful materials, accents all around the vehicle with this brushed aluminum look, the piano black finish, soft touch materials on the dash and the doors and the armrest all look really high end. Now, this is the top model and it gets the 8-inch screen here in the center of the dash. Now, this is only available in upper trim if you get navigation. Unfortunately, you don't get that screen as standard equipment on all trim levels, and most vehicles get the 4-inch UVO screen and the base models just get a radio. So I wish they could spread this across more trim levels. As I mentioned, only upper trim get that if you order navigation. Then you've got the TFT screen in behind the steering wheel. Lots of information there that's easy to read and great looking graphics. Nice switch gear. And this plastic here is kind of got soft, kind of rubberized on top of it. It feels really nice. The way everything moves is just first rate. Now, this is available with 5 passengers or 7 passengers. Currently, it's only about 11% of people buy the 3-row vehicle, and now they're expecting, because it's going to be available on a wider range of trim levels, Kia thinks that about 35% of people going into the dealership will choose the 7-passenger model. All right, now the other thing about this is the size. They've made the 2nd row bigger and the 3rd row bigger, and also easier to get in and out of the back seat because the vehicle is longer and it's wider. It's slightly in between the Santa Fe and the Santa Fe XL, and that really is a sweet spot for many buyers. Now, this Sorento is available with front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, depending on what the buyer chooses. There's a lock button here with all-wheel drive settings that locks the torque 50-50, which is going to be perfect for people that are doing low-speed off-roading. But most people, they'll just leave it and let the vehicle do it's all on its own, and 50% of the torque can go to the rear wheels at a maximum, okay? Now, the 2.4-liter 4-cylinder is carried over from the old Sorento. It has 185 horsepower and a 6-speed automatic transmission. Then you get into the new 2-liter turbo that has been used by Hyundai and the Santa Fe for the last few years. It's a beautiful engine, 240 horsepower, 260 foot-pounds of torque, but it runs on regular gasoline. That is a beautiful thing for anybody who has had a turbo before. Having to fill up with premium has been a pain in the backside. But that engine is a wonderful engine, but I find with turbocharged engines, when you really push them and ask them to do a lot of work, they're not as efficient as possible, which is the reason why I like the V6 that's in this. The 3.3-liter direct injection, 290 horsepower, almost 300 horsepower. It's a beautiful engine. It does everything very well. It doesn't have as much torque as that 2-liter, but you know what? For everyday driving, that would be the engine I would get. And that's the standard engine with all 7-passenger models. They've also changed the electric power steering, which has been a real weak link for Kia and Hyundai in the past. They've improved it, and if you get the top SX models, you get an electromechanical system, which makes it even feel more direct, and that is a big improvement compared to the old one. In addition, they've improved sound deadening insulation. They have acoustic glass in the side and the front on some models, and the body is much stiffer than it was before. So it all comes together to make this a much more drivable SUV. Now with an available turbo engine, it's going to open up this market to a whole bunch of new buyers. Now, one of the things with adding a 2-liter direct injection gasoline engine into the mix with the Sorento is a bit more complexity with the trim levels and the pricing. Now, here's the easiest way to remember it. The 2.4-liter base 4-cylinder is only available on the base trim. You can get it in front and all-wheel drive. Now, all of the other 5-passenger models get the 2-liter direct injection gas engine, either front or all-wheel drive. If you want the 7-passenger Sorento, you have to get the V6. So base engine is the 4-cylinder, all the 5 passengers get the turbo, and all the 7 passengers get the V6. The 2-liter turbocharged is really perfect for people that don't need to take a lot of people all the time. The improvements to the inside are fantastic. A beautiful job with the way it's all fit and finished. It really is first-rate stuff. Now, this Kia Sorento is already the 2nd best-selling Kia in Canada behind the Rio. Now they've added in more trim levels, more available options, more engines, and a wider spectrum of pricing. I think it's going to definitely continue to be their 2nd best-selling vehicle, and maybe their best-selling in the years to come.